Hi everyone, and welcome to the All Things ITSM Global Podcast, coming to you from ITSM 15 in London. I'm Kirsty McGowan. I'm here with Simone Moore.
Hi everyone.
James Finister.
Hello.
And our guest this afternoon is Grant Gladding from Interlink.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So Grant, very interested for you to explain, not everyone understands middleware as such and how that, interlinks with everything else. So would you like to just explain just a little bit of how that works?
Of course, yeah. Interlink Software provides a product that it layers on top of existing monitoring tools that companies have purchased over the years and get value from today. We bring events and metrics from these monitoring tools into a focal point and allow them to make sense of all of these potentially millions of events and metrics a day coming from the different domain tools that they have in a single pane of glass view. So we help them prioritize.
So you're talking about all that when we, do our wonderful training and talking about correlation engines, etc. So that's part of what you're talking about.
It is, yeah. So what we do is we take these events and metrics from the various domains in IT and allow companies to deduplicate, so cut down on the noise, if you like.
Right.
And then once they've done that, they can start to correlate based on either technology groupings, or companies that are more advanced look to correlate based on business impact. So they can see technical events and their impact on the business. If some shared infrastructure fails, what does that really mean? Is it affecting, say if it's an airline, it might affect ticketing and cargo handling. They can see that right away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an element in here as well of giving the organisation one version of the truth that everybody can look at and agree this is actually what's happening.
Definitely, yeah. So a big part of this is we've got all this information coming in, we're providing the correlation, and then there's a role-based web interface. And some people may log on, and based on their role in the organisation, it'll be a read-only view of a certain business service. Other people in IT operations might log on and get a view of the whole company and the health of all services and have full command and control capability.
And you're offering this access even to the business? Do people in the business actually get access to this is my service and what's happening?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What we've seen over the years is this starts in IT network operations. And the service desk then take access and start to use this. It goes to support areas and then the business themselves. And we've got CEOs of a lot of large companies that actually have these dashboards in their office on large screens. You see these in the lobby at large companies showing the health of key services. We see that. And even in the latest deployments, we see companies deploying the dashboards to their customers. So we've seen it move out of the organisation.
More transparent, so they get a better view of the service that actually is being provided.
Exactly, yeah, and we've seen that in financial services, utilities, and so on.
So what sort of companies are taking up this type of tool?
It really is applicable to any organisation that's invested in a lot of IT, so it's most companies out there nowadays. We've worked with retailers, financial services, utilities, managed service providers. It's really just across the spectrum of organisations.
Have you found that it's actually really helped improve the decision making of organisations?
We have. What we've seen, and the reason that this has started in operations and worked its way out to CEOs and CIOs and so on, is we're able to show very quickly, in real time in many cases, the impact of technology issues on the bottom line for the business, and provide these two elements, these two areas of info in the same view. So as well as benefit to IT, executives really get value from this, and they can quickly see the impact of changes that they make. So
rather than waiting for the IT monthly report and then having a business meeting, we're actually having the business meeting as and when it's needed.
Yeah, very much. What we're seeing in certain companies that have invested and a few years down the road is this idea of a real-time report. Instead of waiting a week or a month, they're actually looking at the information in real time.
As it's
Up
happening.
to so we're seeing things like cumulative calculation of SLAs to that point in time. That kind of visualization, it's really made a difference.
It is interesting. I mean, a theme I think coming out from this conference is the death of the monthly report.
Yes.
Why did we ever produce it in the first place?
I know. I mean, what good is that information? Because, I mean, it's anything up to a month old.
Yeah.
I mean, if you produce it on the 31st and deliver it on the 1st, why do you want to know what happened on the 1st of last month?
I think it's
What's
a
the
legacy
value?
from audits and things, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever any value in it, to be honest.
Now, I love this idea whenever anybody tells me, and I do hear it a lot, that we can match the technology impact to the business impact. How does the business have to support that? What does the business have to do so that functionality can be built in?
That is, again, a really good question. And
They'll get harder.
He likes hard questions.
We definitely don't say that this is the kind of thing that you just plug in and it works. The approach that we take is we'll work with the customer, we'll look at maybe the top 1-2 services, and we'll do a top-down breakpoint analysis of the service. You know, what IT has to be there, you know, exactly what's got to be in place for this to function, and we'll instrument our system as we go through the breakpoint analysis, and we'll look for data sources on the ITSM side, configuration data, you know, dependencies, SLAs that are defined, and we'll bring that in. We'll look at the monitoring tools that underpin this service on the technology side, and we'll integrate those, but based on this breakpoint analysis process, so that once you go live and you're managing that service, as it changes, we're picking up on the changes as they happen. And where we've seen this go is in some large companies in the DevOps world, they've got provisioning tools, and these new breed of provisioning tools are actually being prompted by their applications to go spin up servers and deploy software. And we're actually being pushed information, usually web services based, from these provisioning tools and updating our dependency maps for the models and then keeping the views and reports up to date as a byproduct of that. So the days of going out and doing a trawl, a discovery process have gone, because you're in line and you're hooked into that provisioning. So
I call that going on a possum hunt. You know, every time you had to do an asset register search, whether it was electronic or paper, that was a nightmare way to get that information into your systems to have a look. It sounds to me like it's almost that mysterious SKMS that
that's a good point.
That you see now, you've taken all those disparate data sources and have found a way of pulling those strings in.
That's a great one. And we have we called it a CMDB years ago. We realised that the ITSM vendors provided CMDBs, and we realised that we were leveraging that data from one or more. And other data sources. So we then, with ITIL, I think version 3, we looked at calling this a CMS. And over time, working with customers, we realised what we've got is a service knowledge management system. And it's evolved over a decade, working with large companies. And that's, I think, what we have today. And we can't say that we deliberately set out to develop that. We didn't know about the term, but it happened over a number of years.
I'm actually quite
into
impressed.
that.
I'm quite impressed, because it's always been this mysterious thing that we've talked about.
Integration has been key. We grew up as a company developing a manager of managers, and that's bringing events and metrics into a focal point. We applied that to configuration data. So doesn't matter what vendor CMDB, what data source, database, wherever API that we've got to call, we can bring the data from these different places into the SKMS.
Can I ask if there's just one framework, like, that I'm quite interested in, which is Obashi? Have you been using that kind of methodology to look at the information flows and how it works?
We're I wouldn't say familiar with, we've been made aware of Obashi, and in terms of methodologies, I would say that we kind of worked around ITIL best practice for a long time and got a lot of influence from ITIL, and I think it's been more customer driven development from there, without actually leveraging some framework or methodology outside of our customer
Which
base,
is
if
a
you
far
like.
more pragmatic way to develop a
Yeah.
solution is to actually
That's
do what
how
your
it's-
customers are asking you
That's
for.
how it's worked.
Mm.
We've
Yeah.
got a really great
Yeah.
group of customers that have stuck with us for about a decade, and we've developed the product. They're in different vertical industries, and we've got a steering group, and we
Right.
really use that to steer the development. That's how
So-
we've done it.
Innovation out of necessity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's been a really enlightening discussion. Actually, you've piqued my interest. I'm going to go and
Great.
have a look and see what it is you do. It was a great
Fantastic.
discussion.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Grant.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.